So there's actually a viewer that asks, how can I freely be myself unapologetically? Mike, I think you told me earlier you had something to say on that. You had like a story, I believe.
For me, going back about 25 years ago, I was a new chiropractor out of college and really not sure myself who I was or what role I was supposed to have with my patients. And I went to this chiropractic event where there were a bunch of, all the chiropractors went and a couple of them spoke. And this guy, Dr. Bob Schiffman, who was literally seeing, probably still is, 2,000 patients a week, which doesn't seem possible. And, at the end of an event like that, when the speaker is done, if you've ever been to something like that, everyone kind of goes up to the front and waits their turn to ask their questions. And this guy, everyone was up there, so he had a crowd, so he didn't have really much time to give anyone in answering the questions. But when it came to me, I said, Dr. Bob, I struggle with, and he said, stop struggling. And he moved on and went to the next person. Because after that, it didn't matter what I said. It didn't matter. Stop struggling. And it was, to me, that was one of those like instant, you're so right. What the heck am I doing? Move on. Just be yourself. So for me, that's what spoke to me and kind of freed me. And I think it's a lesson for literally everyone.
On that subject, there was a video this morning that I did, and one of the commenters, and he says, Corey, you perform a great service to people like me who need the truth spoken to them and how to improve their lives. I feel, which means he probably leans left, you shouldn't discuss your politics too much because I feel many people who will benefit from your wisdom may turn a deaf ear to it. I say that's great because it means they're not open to it. And at the end of the day, I'm pre-qualifying my viewers and the people that I spend my time with. And I'm interested in helping people who are, an acronym an old friend told me for coaching is FAT, FAT. Faithful, available, teachable. In other words, they're ready, willing, able, and open to being coached. They want to hear what I got to say. And if somebody goes, gee, Corey, I don't like your politics, so therefore I'm going to unsubscribe, unfollow, tune you out, and not listen to you, I'm like, I think that's great because obviously I would not be able to effectively help them on the level that I'm capable of because they're not open to it. Let them go stumble and struggle, and then maybe they'll come back. Because on the back of all of my books, it says, it's a quote by Thomas Jefferson, and it's my whole purpose and why I do what I do. And it says, enlighten the people generally, and tyranny and oppressions of body and mind will vanish like evil spirits at the dawn of day. And so as a teacher and a coach that teaches self-reliance, I'm going to teach things that help people become more self-reliant. That includes politics. As Dwight D. Eisenhower said, who was you guys know who that is? Dwight D. Eisenhower?
Wasn't he one of our presidents?
Yep. You know? Supreme Allied commander of all Allied forces during World War II. He was an American general who became president in the 1950s up until JFK took over, the one who got assassinated. But he did 8 years. He said politics should be the part-time profession of every American. So it's something we're all supposed to do, because if you don't know what's going on, as I think it was Plato said, the penalty good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. If you, and then somebody else, I can't remember who said this, but if you fail to take an interest in politics, doesn't mean politics ain't going to take an interest in you, and in essence running and regulating every aspect of your life. And so this guy's telling me, hey, Corey, I would wish you would just shut up and only talk about dating and relationships and life coaching stuff. But to me, this is all part of my mission and what I do. And if it makes you uncomfortable and you're going to leave, well, it's like, that's cool. But I'm interested in talking to people who are like, hey, Corey, just tune that dude out. I really want to hear what you got to say, because you help me so much. And the things that I apply, that you've taught and you give away for free work. So if he's got something to say in politics, I probably should listen to what he has to say, because obviously he's not going to talk out his ass if all this other stuff that he's given me is so truthful and works exactly like he says it's going to work, which is written all over the internet. You can't hide from a bad reputation. If I was totally full of shit, it would be everywhere. If the stuff I taught didn't work, it would be everywhere. You wouldn't be able to hide from it. But it's self-evident. You know, people go and it's all over the comments. It's on the book reviews. It's on the Reddit forums. It's everywhere. So, you know, as one of the things that JFK said, a man does what he must. So I'm going to do what I must do. And so to me, being myself unapologetically, it's like I'm living and speaking my truth. One of my favorite teachers said something many years ago, it's probably 15, 20 years ago. Shriyama Bhagwan said that you must be who you are. What you should be is not important. And to me, when I heard that, I thought that was a really profound statement. And it's learning to give yourself permission to be who you are and not care what other people think. Because the right people that will love you for who you are and be excited and be your teammates and cheerleaders and encourage you, it's like whether you're up, whether you're down, they're always there. They're always your cheerleader. They're always your fan. They're always on your team, and they'll reveal themselves. And when you are yourself and people who are disconnected from themselves, they get pissed off at you. If you're a happy person, people that are miserable and angry don't like you because you're happy and they're not. So all of us, we tend to attack in other people what we're disconnected from within ourselves. And so this guy telling me to shove up about politics, at the end of the day, I look at that and go, deep down, he doesn't really believe in the bullshit that he believes. And that's why he's challenging me to see if I'll just shrink, if I have a rubber spine. And it's like, no, I'm going to speak truth. When something's wrong, that's part of what being a man is about. You got to step up and you got to do the right thing. And even if it costs you followers and fans, even if it costs you money, which obviously it has. I mean, the shadow banning, we did a video on that, and it's like, you got to be who you are. Steve McQueen, the poster you guys see and all what you've seen in all my places, it says, I live for myself and I answer to nobody. Like Gracie, that's like, you know, her creed. She lives by that. And that's a great way as a human being to live. It says, I'm going to live and speak my truth. And the right people will love you for who you are. The wrong people will go, oh, Jocelyne, I don't think you should say that, or you should be that way, or you should take that career, or you should wear that, you know, outfit of clothing. I don't know about that, or you shouldn't say those things. It's like, if it's your truth, if it feels right, you got to speak it and live it. And the right people will celebrate that and encourage it, and the wrong ones will try to shove you back in a box.
No, I kind of want to jump I wanted to jump in that, but it's a whole nother video, so I'm not going to.
Go ahead. We can record it. We're rolling, bro.
Well, no, it's another video. And, you know, one of the things that you talked about in that was when you say something that people don't like. And the problem is they're closed to hearing things that they don't want to hear. And the reality is that is probably their best teacher. You know, I could pat you on the back and say, hey, you're doing a great job. You're so good at this and stuff. And, you know, people like that. They love to be praised, but they don't really learn anything from it. And when someone gives you an opinion that makes you uncomfortable, or, you know, says you're wrong about something and presents their way, you have an opportunity to learn something completely new.
Confucius said, real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance.
Well, it's the balance that we have in America with the freedom of speech. And, you know, it's why we have two parties, why we have a Congress and a Senate. And, you know, we have, in law, we have so many options to keep things in check and balance. And
the Congress represents the will of the people. The senators are supposed to represent the states and our republic. That was the intent behind the two bodies.
Yeah, without that balance, you know, the freedom of speech, the ability to consider a side that is different than your own. I mean, you have nothing, you know. I mean, that is our freedom. That's what makes us so special. And that's why a lot of the topics that are going to be coming up in other videos are so important too. It's another video.
Yeah. You got to live and speak your truth, man, even if it makes people uncomfortable, especially if it makes them uncomfortable. And then you get attacked because the reality is they attack you because they doubt themselves. And what they're really looking for is leadership. And so when you get You look at a guy like in sports, Tom Brady. So many people hate on him because he's such a great champion and a winner. And the reality is they don't feel like winners in their own life, and that's why they hate on pretty much the greatest winner of all time as far as the NFL is concerned.
There's people that hate when others make money, and they're jealous, and people make so much money. It's like, Elon Musk, he must be a white supremacist asshole because he makes so much money. Or can you possibly look at it and say, I should be more like him and learn from that?
Yep.
Or strive to be just as great as him.